Hey, what's going on, guys? Robert Terrazas, founder and CEO of Empire Lending Group. I'm just hanging out here, just in my house, my personal office. And this week I want to talk to you guys about leadership. I think it's incredibly important that we start making better leaders because during my time in the military, I have seen some of the best and some of the worst leadership I've ever seen in my life. And it's not just the military. When I even worked with Google for a little bit, I saw some incredibly poor examples of leadership. And let me say this: it's not necessarily the people's fault that we're in leadership roles that we're doing poorly. I've realized that there's really not a good system in place to teach people true leadership. In the military, you put someone in a leadership role, and typically you're having to yell at people because you're in the woods and there's like gunfire, fake gunfire going off and stuff like that. But there's really no class on really how to be a leader. I think in the military they just accept that some people are better natural leaders and then they give them the position. This may be true also in a lot of companies and organizations, but we really need to start educating people. We need to start educating our leaders. We need to start educating our people that will be potential leaders. But understand this, to be a leader, in the military too, it doesn't matter your rank. It doesn't, because as long as there's someone that you're looking out for and helping them with something, you are a leader. So in the military, it doesn't matter if you're an E1 or you're E9 or O1, up to whatever, or an organization if you're a CEO or you're an intern. Everyone can be a leader. Leadership is not a rank. It is a position of responsibility that someone takes upon themselves to better the organization or the team. Okay, so I want to kind of go over some of what I've realized are common misconceptions about how people think a leader should act. And again, most of this will be based off my military experience, but not just mine. I went around and I actually got information from many of my old coworkers and my brother who now works with this company who used to be in the military, to get an overall idea of leadership within the military and like I said before, when we worked with other companies. There are some common traits that I've seen that people think a leader should have, and I've realized that when people utilize these traits, the organization or the team is much less efficient. And I've realized that when I've had good leaders, how they led differently in what they did, and how much better the team was, and how much less lag the team had. I'm not going to explain all this stuff. So let's hop into it. Again, I'm going to be reading out of my Genius Mandala. So if you guys see me looking down, it's just because I want to get this information to you guys properly when I have the time to actually write this stuff out. Okay, so I'll read you guys my definition first of what a leader is, and again, this is my definition, but I definitely hold it true, and I think it's what a leader should be. Okay, and if you guys agree, I mean, awesome. But here it is. Personally, I define a leader as a person who brings out the best in people through challenging them and challenging the way that they currently think. A leader inspires a person to reach a level they never knew that they could obtain. A true leader motivates those unwilling to act, to unify those to achieving a common goal, a person to lead his team through uncertainty, the one people turn to make decisions, the person who expresses his concern for the well-being of the members that make up the team. But most of all, a leader is a guide, a mentor, and most of all is a friend. Now, I know most people are not going to agree with me with the friend part. For some reason, there's this huge idea that a leader cannot be friend with his subordinates or the people that he's in charge of. That's not true. If anything, you need to be the best friend to everyone in your team, because you need to be the person that's able to inspire these people, that's close to these people. I've realized a lot of the time, and especially in the military, you see this a lot from officers and from really younger officers. I think as guys start getting more ranked, they start realizing something, but they create this negative separation as if they can't hang out with their subordinates. They can't eat in front of them, they can't sleep in front of them, they can't show any signs of quote-unquote weakness. But really what that creates is a negative separation, because now you've separated yourself from a team, and you come off as being better than the team, or you have the mind, you come off as that you think you're better than the team. And you don't get close to the guys. You don't actually ever become a friend. Too often people get stuck and they think, I need to be this King Leonidas figure. That's a movie. Those are movies. People like that don't truly exist, and if they did, people probably wouldn't look up to them very much because they act like a machine or a robot. True leaders, the best leaders I've ever seen, were the ones that were real people. They admitted their faults. They shared stories about some struggles that they had in their life and how they were able to get through those struggles. And that's what we need to do. Stop acting like we're invincible when we're in a leadership role. That's not true. We are people. Because if we do that too, and people are striving to be like us, what's going to happen is they're going to realize that they are not invincible, and they're going to be trying to replicate whatever vibe you're putting off. And what's going to happen is they're actually going to start losing momentum because they're going to realize, oh, I have these problems. I must not be a good leader, or I'm struggling with this, or I'm feeling lazy with this. So you're giving people unrealistic goals to try to obtain. And what's going to happen is people are going to start losing confidence as a leader, or leaders that you're trying to create. So you really need to be a friend of these people and share with them stories when you had something hard in your life or a time you wanted to quit, but how you were able to get through it. Show them how to be adaptable, how to be flexible, and how to be a true leader. And to do that, you'll have to be a friend. And that's what I've realized. Some of the best leaders I've ever had were truly friends. Okay, so keep that in mind. And I know people are going to disagree with me, and that's totally okay. You guys don't have to listen to me. But understand that this information is coming from someone that is a leader now of the company, and also that has been a subordinate in the military and a leader in the military. And I've realized that when I was subordinate, when I saw leadership acting this way, in the negative way, how it created this unity within the team of everyone in the team except for the leader. So the leader was away, and people would be saying things behind the leader's back, and didn't have trust in that leader because they felt that maybe the person would rat on them or tell on them or whatever it was. And I've realized with this company, how I run it, we don't have that, or at least I know. But no, I definitely I've realized that if you can be a friend and a mentor, these people have trust in you, okay? And it's going to create motivated individuals that want to work with you because they're not scared of necessarily disappointing you, okay? And that goes into my next point. It's about giving power back to these people that are the specialists, or the ones closest to the information. For instance, my brother, the president of Empire Lending Group, he runs our sector out in the Texas area, out in specifically the kind of Austin, Dallas area. Since he knows that market, and he has his brokers out there, his attorneys, his servicing companies, everything like that, I don't tell him what to do in Texas. He tells me what needs to be done in Texas because he's the one with the information, okay? If he had to wait for me to tell him what to do, they would create this lag. So he has maybe a customer out there in Texas come to him. If he had to come to me to approve it and maybe learn what needed to be done in Texas, it creates this huge lag. Now that client is now having to get pushed back until I can come up with an answer to give to Brandon, then Brandon give to the client. So the point is that in the military you see this so much, and it's terrible because you have guys standing around waiting to be told what to do. And if you're in the military, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about hurry up and wait. I'm talking about standing there, sitting in the hallways, just waiting to get told what to do. It's because most of us, during time in the military and probably in some other organizations, this fear gets created because we've been yelled at so many times on what not to do that we stop trying to be creative. We stop trying to take initiative because we're worried about if we do something, there's going to be repercussions because maybe it's not the way that our bosses wanted it to be done. And what that does is now you have one thinking mind in a team, and you have a bunch of drones sitting around waiting to be told what to do. What you need to do is give power back to them. Those are your specialists. Those are the people that are going to be able to tell you what needs to be done. Because as a leader, think about it, you're really a manager. You're managing the team of specialists. those people should be coming to you and saying, hey, this needs to be done this way and this is why. Give that power back to them. And if you give them that power to make decisions, what you're going to end up with is a well-oiled machine that's able to think for themselves, that's able to analyze a task, formulate a plan, and execute. If you have that, you're going to completely get rid of that lag. Now you're going to have a team, let's say an ODA, the Special Forces teams are made up of 12 guys. Now you have 12 thinking individuals instead of one delegating tasks to everybody. And because of this, now these people are going to be the one that be able to make the informed decisions because they are the specialists. They know what needs to be done. Something you need to come to terms with as a leader is you may not know the best thing that needs to be done. And you have to also come to terms with you don't know everything. As a leader, you often have to be able to lead those that are smarter than you. Understand, just because you're a leader doesn't mean you're the smartest. You just have to be the one to unify and keep the vision apparent to everybody. The vision and the end goal always has to be apparent to your team. And really, that's your purpose, is to let everyone know that what the goal is, that we're all a team, and that you're here for them, and you're here to help them however you can. So really, your team members should be coming to you, telling you, this is what I need, this is what I need, and you're able to form that. That's the position of a leader. It's a responsibility. It's not this person that's standing around barking at orders, yelling at people. What that creates is, again, one thinking mind with a bunch of people, a bunch of drones standing around waiting to be told to do. 2 minds are always better than 1. 100 are always better than 1. However big your company is, start letting your guys think for themselves and start letting them make decisions. Give power back to the people in the company. Okay? Let's see here. What else I got? One of the biggest problems I see is people not leading by example. A lot of leaders will say, do this, but what ends up happening is they don't do it. Never push someone or challenge someone more than you challenge yourself. People love to be challenged, but people hate to be overwhelmed. And it's easy to overwhelm people if you're not challenging yourself as much as you're challenging them, because you may feel just fine with however much workload you have, but you may be putting more on someone than you'd be willing to take on, and you don't know because you're not doing it yourself. So you could be overwhelming your team. Okay, so understand that don't ever push someone harder than you would push yourself. Okay, expect a lot out of your guys, expect a lot out of your team, but again, only as much as you expect out of yourself. Okay, so lead by example. One of the biggest ways to lose trust and respect is to say one thing and do another, or to not follow through. Okay, and that's something that is absolutely critical as a leader. You have to do what you say. Trust is the key factor to being a leader. Once you lose trust, it is incredibly hard to earn back. Okay, so a common thing that I've seen is people viewing leadership as a position of power instead of a position of responsibility. There's not less work with it as being a leader. There's more work. You have more responsibility. There's more to do. So understand that I've seen so many leaders do less work because they think now they can just bark orders, and that is incredibly the wrong mindset to have. Understand that when you're a leader, more is expected of you, and you should expect more of yourself, and you should expect more of the team. So understand that just because you're a leader doesn't mean that you're the greatest, and don't view the people working with you as subordinates. Again, like I said before, a lot of the time people in your team could definitely be smarter than you. Many times it has been. Henry Ford, he was known for having all these specialists that he would he would get advisement from. And people would say, Mr. Ford, you know what you're talking about, or here, answer this question, because he'd say he knows everything. So they'd ask him a question, he'd say, hold on. He'd pick up a phone, and a room of specialists would come in the room, and he'd say, okay, ask them the question. The point he's trying to make is that he would hire people that were smarter than him so he could think. So he was able to do the most important job. It was to think and think about how to make the team better, how to make the company better, how to make it run more efficiently. Okay, so don't just assume because you're a leader that you're the smartest, or really that you're the most equipped. Okay, you have to accept that fact. Okay, many people think that because they're a leader they're the best and that they have all the answers. Okay, So definitely learn to give that up, because it will make you a better leader now, and it'll make you a better leader in the future. It'll make your guys better leaders. Okay, so I just want to let you guys give you guys a list of some of the recommendations that that kind of encompass this whole video. But some of my recommendations to be better leaders, as well as other special forces guys, as well as other military guys that I've talked to, what their recommendations were to be better leaders. Okay, so here's some of the things. Okay, listen and speak less. Step back and give power to the team. Admit when you're wrong. Or have made a mistake. Encourage creativeness and new ideas, as well as for your persons to make decisions. Push to make them better through encouragement. Establish purpose and reason for their efforts. Start with why. You have to have a vision. The group has to have a vision. Show that you're a person. Show that you're a person that struggles with many of the same problems that they do. Share with them times when you had self-doubt or the urge to quit, and what you did to get through it. People respect one who is confident enough to share something personal. This earns respect. If you can adopt these methods, you will see the results you've been seeking. So yeah, I'm sorry, I was just reading out the book, but some of those things, if you do those and you follow those, you will see results within your team. I've seen it, time and time again. People making those same huge mistakes of yelling and things like that, and expecting to be good leaders. And a lot of times in the military, that's kind of it's expected for you to act that way, but that's not necessarily the right way. Okay, and if anyone thinks that their way is always the right way, is probably pretty ignorant. They don't know that there's a better way of doing it. Okay, so I hope you guys got something out of this video. I know it was kind of long, but this topic is so important and something I'm so passionate about. If you guys have any questions about it, write us, contact us, because on this topic we would love to help any of you guys out. So again, if you guys have any questions, write us. If you guys want any other videos, let us know. We'll post something next week. And again, I hope you guys got something out of this video. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys next week. All right? Talk to you guys later.